All right, so we're back for our second topic, and we are going to talk about our best financial decisions that we've ever made now. So, Joel, why don't you tell everyone kind
Well,
of.
yeah, kind of going back to what we just left off with the last episode, talking about some NBA stuff, and we're talking about Jerry West and telling big fella Shaq and that '96 draft, "Hey, big fella, I got you. We got this kid. He's Kobe, 18 years old. Wait till you see this kid. We're gonna win a championship together." He saw it before they even stepped foot in the floor together, and like that vision, that's so rare to have. Somebody fulfill those dreams, and there's so many busts that happen in the draft. And I kind of bring it up because, when I say the best financial decision, there's kind of, the end result, but the actual stair step that like led down that entire path. And, the end result that someone may say, hey, this is, pretty cool thing that someone's done. Like me personally, I had this journey, a 10-year journey in real estate as I was, going down my mortgage career and, being able to save some money and buy some properties and whatnot. And I was able to get into a short-term rental in Florida. And it was a price range that people thought I was crazy on doing. It definitely kind of put myself a little bit on the edge, I guess you'd say. But I saw a vision. I saw how this could work out and things happening alongside to be able to minimize risk. And that property I got in the very, very beginning of 2021, and all the data, all the things that I was seeing happening, all the analysis that I did worked out to a T. And that property's, gone up 75% in value. The rents have continued to go up. And then personally, being in the mortgage industry, we were able to put a satellite branch in Destin, Florida because of that and make more connections. And so just kind of all these things kind of syncing together. But like the actual decision that I made that led to that was purchasing several 4-unit properties in St. Louis in 2017. That was the real domino that allowed me to be able to kind of set things up and kind of set into the right mindset and vision of what was possible. I got several properties at really good prices, put a little bit of work into them. And I mean, they've tripled in value since I bought them, essentially, almost tripled in value. So I was able to pull out a little equity to help with the down payment on that. I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar purchase. So it required a lot of capital to get there. So it turned out well, but like if I wouldn't have done those 4 families, the rest of the dominoes would not have fallen into place.
How did you get started again? Like, how did you, like, I mean, what did you have a mentor or something or?
No, and it's funny that you asked that question. I didn't have a mentor, right? And I never really did. Just, reading books and videos and YouTube and this and that. And it's probably why I'm so passionate about talking about this stuff with people like yourself. I was trying to help people, see the way of what real estate can do if you know the formula. But I bought a house in 2009 and, it's condo, at an entry level price range. And then in 2013, I bought a house and then turned that old one into a rental. And I bought that condo very, very intentionally in terms of the geography, because I was in mortgage and sales, and it's like I don't know what's going to happen in the industry. And I bought that in 2000 at the end of 2009, so like coming out of the big recession. So there's just all kinds of fear and uncertainty, and I took a leap. And it's like if anything happens to my job or income or whatever, I know that in this specific location, I will rent this thing out in a heartbeat. So that was my kind of safety net. And so then in 13, I bought a house and turned it into rental, and then did it again a few years later. Bought the next primary and turned the old one to rental, and then I've kind of coined that myself. People can call it whatever they want to call it, but I call it the stair step method. And actually, it's in this book if you can see it.
Oh, there, right there, right there.
I actually finally got the physical copy of it. But I talk about the stair step method in this book and kind of give an example of how somebody making $40,000 a year was able to scale in and build a portfolio of 4 properties that now is worth over multi-million dollars. So it's like getting in, save up, buy the next one, turn the old one to a rental. If you can do that a couple of times, you're going to be setting yourself up for some pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about that because it kind of sounds like, the rental properties or real estate. Because, earlier you talked about how, that was some of your worst decisions as far as a certain property. So it kind of feels like it's this little wave or hills that, it goes up, goes down. And that's kind of how my, biggest or best and worst financial decisions I've ever made. A lot of it revolves around, like I talk about, like retirement accounts. So, I was contributing to my retirement accounts when I was younger. And because everybody was doing it, I thought this is how you plan for retirement. So, I definitely feel like it's better to do that than not do anything at all. But so I was putting money into my retirement accounts, and then when I started kind of understanding how money works a little bit better and looking at it from that standpoint, I looked at it and I was like, these don't grow as much as I'm going to need them to grow. And there's a lot of restrictions as far as, what age, how much you can take out, taxes. So I went all in. I took it out to buy real estate, which I feel was a great decision for me. So it went from kind of being a bad decision of putting all this money into retirement accounts and not getting the results I was looking for. Then it became a good decision by me accessing it to buy real estate. But then I also feel it kind of, in some ways, was one of my bigger mistakes I made, is that it allowed me to maybe scale quicker than I should have. As far as, I got into real estate, and, most people may not want to tell you, but it's not as easy and passive as, some people make it out to be. And I kind of went through a lot of mistakes in the beginning. Well, the first few rental properties I got, maybe that's why I scaled quickly, because it made me feel like everything was so easy. I didn't have problems, things went well. And then after the first 4 or 5, that's, for whatever reason, the next, batch of properties, sat vacant a little bit longer, after you close on them. Then, 1 month later, maybe the furnace goes out. There's issues that came up. So my financial journey kind of went like, everything was great. I was doing, the pension, I was doing retirement accounts. And then I kind of saw retirement accounts as being bad financial moves. And then I accessed it. So it kind of went up and down for me, but I'm glad I did access my retirement accounts to buy real estate. I feel it's going to be better for me in the long run, but I also feel like it made me go through a very quick learning curve. And so that's kind of where my biggest mistake would be, I'd say.
I love this conversation too, because like, how did you have the foresight to think, okay, 401k, it's great doing this thing, but it's not where I want to go. I'm going to jump, headfirst into real estate and buying that first one. Did you have any visions of getting to 14? Like, what was your vision when you got that first one? What did you think was possible at that point?
Well, the first one, it was just like, hey, let's just see if this works and if it's possible to, invest remotely, whatever, 6,000 miles away from my property. And, how do I deal with a property manager, and how do I deal with, repairs that might come up. So the first one was definitely kind of to get my feet wet. And like I tell people, it kind of tricked me. I think like there was not a lot of problems in the beginning. Things went very smoothly. We found a tenant very quickly. So I was like, this is the way to go. Like this makes a lot of sense. And that's kind of why I emptied out my retirement accounts. And I probably even could have done that a little bit differently. Because I did miss the CARES Act, so I did have to pay the penalty on them. And you still have to pay taxes on the gains you make on them and whatnot. So I could have strategized that a little bit better. So like I said, I don't advise people to do it. That was my decision. But if people are gonna possibly take money out of their retirement accounts early, it's always good to probably look at maybe trying to access it the beginning part of the year, or as early as possible, so that you have a full maybe 16 months to think about paying whatever taxes on them, because usually you file your taxes in April. So now you have this longer period of time to either build up for whatever taxes you might pay on them.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the same thought process I have too. It's like, real estate, it once you get in the game, right? Like it changes the way you look at everything in life, really. I mean, all the decisions that I've made have been to really, how do I minimize risk? How do I do something extra on the side to be able to get more cash, build an extra income stream, do a podcast, sell an online course? All of the things that I'm trying to do are like, okay, well, how can I do something extra on the side, add value to somebody else, and also minimize risk for where I'm going with this? Because, like you said, I mean, it's not always easy. It's not passive, but I wouldn't change. I mean, I really wouldn't change anything, really, because if you have a failure, you have a struggle, it's an opportunity to be able to improve your system or do something differently the next time.
Yeah, I think what was super eye-opening for me too was I think even when I was considering, getting my first rental property out of state, I was trying to figure out if I wanted to access my retirement accounts. And there's just so many hoops to jump through a lot of times. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
you can only take out this much, or you can only, you have a penalty, or you got to wait to this age. And that was kind of even more eye-opening, where it's like, this is my money. Basically I've contributed this money, and you're telling me I have to do all these things to access it, or there's these penalties and fees, and that just really opened my eyes to where, real estate, like I said, like we both said, it's not as passive and not easy, but to me, you have a lot more control, over your money and your asset. And, that you can either sell, you can refinance, you can, pull out equity, you can 1031. So you just have a lot more control, I feel.
Totally. So I get asked this question a lot. Like, what would you have done differently 10 years ago? And I hate the question because people get it wrong. Well, maybe that's just my opinion. Because like
And
if somebody asked me 10 years ago, my 10 years ago self, hey, you know what? Go buy more real estate. Take the leap. Take the chance. It's gonna work out. I probably wouldn't have listened to them. I would have came up with whatever excuse I would have had in my brain. And my brain just wouldn't have been ready for that decision. The sequence of events that followed got me to the point where my mind was open and ready to be able to take the next leap and the next leap. So it's like all the advice in the world. Maybe that's just me personally. It's like I probably wouldn't have done anything differently. Like I don't know.
I think for me, I think it just always goes back to not letting myself get too comfortable with where I was at. And like I always joke about it as far as like, reading books, and like I tell people, I didn't read books at all since I graduated college. And, until recently, started reading a lot of different money books, real estate books, finance books. And I think that's very eye-opening. And you can get complacent very easily with life. And I think that's what I fell into. But I also look back now and I feel like just understanding money or understanding finances just makes everything else more obtainable. Like if you want to become super fit and super healthy, if you have more access to money, or you have better money foundation, you can buy better gym equipment, you can buy better gym memberships, you can buy better food to eat. It's just, I think understanding money and knowing how money works can just make life better. Just makes those other things more obtainable.
Totally, totally. I mean, like, I think the younger generation, the 20s and 30 somethings, are they're the people that are thinking, well, shit, I hate my job. Why am I building someone else's dream? Why can't I build my own dream? That's why I think we've talked about this before. Like, I think there's a little bit of a sense of apathy with that 20s and 30s crowd. And on my side in the mortgage industry, I'm the kind of the term generational wealth gets thrown around way more than I ever have ever seen. And that type of terminology, financial freedom, or I use the term legacy wealth for my platform, and more people are wanting to hear about it and talk about it and figure out how to get there. And I think you're going to see more and more people, that age range, doing things like build a side business to be able to somehow get out of their job. People just they're done working for the W-2
Yeah.
corporate job. Like they don't want to do it. They don't see fulfillment in doing that.
Yeah. Hey, like one of my coworkers, and I'm not promoting veganism and all this, but he is full plant-based vegan. He went cold turkey. He used to eat meat all the time, but now he's all plant-based. And I keep trying to tell him, I said, if you get yourself, financially free or financially independent, then you can promote your veganism a lot easier, right? You can make that your passion or make that your dream, right? Now you don't need to rely on your W-2, and you have this financial freedom, and now your message can be all about plant-based and veganism. And I think that's how some people have to start looking at things, is that they may have this passion, or they may have this vision, and a lot of times, and hate to say it, but money, you need money a lot of times, right? You need money to make things happen. And if you figure out a way to become financially independent and financially free, now you can go promote your passion or promote your message to other people.
That's so true. That's so true. But and that's the thing that's going through my brain too. It's like, it's not easy. It's not easy to go build the cash up to go buy a property, right? I mean, like you were saying before, you were, on the last episode, at that point in time, you're kind of living paycheck to paycheck. And I've been there before, we've all been there. And it's like, how do you get to the next level and scrape up more cash, right? You can cut expenses, but that's only going to get you so far. Or you can try to increase income, and maybe it's work overtime, maybe it's get a second job, or maybe it's build a side hustle. Like, there's just so many ways that people are doing things creatively to generate extra income. And that's the thing that I think is just becoming more and more prominent, in the demographics that are out there, 20s and 30s, and even my age, our age.
Yeah. Or move out of Hawaii and find a lower cost of living.
Right.
Yeah. And then come back, right? That's why I try to tell, go find that great paying job, maybe in the mainland, or in St. Louis, and build some wealth there, and then you can always come back and buy your dream home in Hawaii. But having this high cost of living, and not the best wages out in Hawaii, it does make it challenging, right? You have high cost of living, and your wages aren't as high as other places. So
is your the place? Do you still live in your house, or did you move into a different place? I forget.
I still live in it, and I'm still trying to figure out what. I mean, I
Can
know
you
what.
short-term rent it?
No. I mean, I know he doesn't watch this channel, but my neighbor will probably have fits with that. Technically, I'm on a private street. I mean, technically,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if I rent it out, it'll make me money long term. So
Okay.
the smart decision is, yeah, that's what I should be doing. It's just there's other logistics, and like I talked about, is figuring out what I'm gonna do in my garage gym is part of the problem. Like, like, yeah. So that's another issue maybe. But yeah, this has been
So
fun. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so your son is 12.
8. He
11?
just turned 8. Yeah.
Just okay. So maybe in like 10 years, you can do like a little, financial freedom firefighter tour, and go around to different cities and just talk about financial freedom and real estate and whatnot once your kids gets out of the house.
Yeah, well, he loves North Carolina. So his mom's from North Carolina, and we love it there. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna, if he does go to college, I have a feeling he'll be in somewhere in that area, around North Carolina. So the vision is for me to buy a fourplex to whatever area he goes to, and then he lives in one unit, and he's going to rent out the other 3, and he's going to learn how to manage these properties, and that's kind of the vision. And like you're saying, I don't know if I'll be making my tour around, but I'll definitely, the plan is to be watching some Chicago Bears football games, and catching more sporting events, and we'll see if St. Louis has a basketball, because you guys don't know. Wait, no, you guys don't have one.
Football,
I mean,
basketball,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah,
But
who
you
knows?
like
You
to you
might.
like to you like to throw those javelins late in these shows, man. Like I said in the last show, I brought my armor though. I'm good.
Well, you might be in Florida by then. You might be living in Florida by then. Oh no, your kids are younger than my son, so
Yeah.
you'll probably be there for a lot longer. Yeah.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
We got lots of cool things to talk about next time.
Yeah, this is always fun, man. We'll catch up again next week, and you're getting better. You're on time nowadays, so I don't have to wait for you. But
I was waiting for you today for like at least 30 seconds. Just being honest.
all right. Well, we'll figure out a topic for next week, and we'll do this again. Thanks, Joel.
All right, see you, Mark.
All right, man. Bye.